Okay, welcome back to the Baldwin Stories. I am Oakley Dean Baldwin, retired sheriff, retired chief warrant officer from the United States Coast Guard Reserve. And as many of you know, I've been doing some videos on my Buford Pusser story, and we're all patiently still waiting for the results from the 2-year long investigation by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the TBI, into the death of Pauline Mullins Pusser. She was murdered back in 1967 when she was riding along with her husband, Sheriff Buford Pusser, from the Walking Tall movie fame. And we did about 10 or 11 videos talking about the evidence in that story. Hopefully within the next couple of months we should have some results from Pauline's autopsy. Back in 1967, they did not do an autopsy on Pauline, and there was a lot of questions back then, even a lot of questions as recently as 2023, when I got a phone call from the TBI, and they shared with me that they were reopening Pauline's cold case, and a few months later, February of 2024, they exhumed Pauline for an autopsy, actually kept her body out for 2 months until April, and then they reinterned her back and buried her back in the cemetery. So we have been waiting coming up on a year now, and I wanted to show everybody my book, which I released in 2021, called Murder of Mrs. Buford Pusser. Now in this book, I talk about a lot of the evidence that I had concerns with. A lot of the stories didn't make any sense. A lot of statements that Sheriff Pusser made did not make any sense to me as a former professionally trained law enforcement officer, or my son, Roy Dean Baldwin, who was also a former professionally trained law enforcement investigator. So we had a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, and a lot of you do too. So stand by on that. As soon as we hear something, we'll post about it. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about my book, J. Percy Flowers, the Master Distiller. Let me hold that up for you just for a second. Looks like this. Now, Percy Flowers was the largest, the grandest moonshiner to ever make moonshine. Nobody can touch him. NASCAR legend Junior Johnson, Joseph Kennedy, the father of John F. Kennedy, Al Capone, Popcorn Sutton, Amos Owens, Big Hallie Mullins, you name it, put them all together, they couldn't touch Percy Flowers. They couldn't even carry his sandals. That's how much moonshine Percy made. Now his first adventure into moonshining started back in 1919 when he was 16 years old. And 1919 was the end of World War I, but it was also the beginning of prohibition in this country. And a lot of you know that that was no legal whiskey at all could be made. So moonshiners really took advantage of that. Speakeasies, illegal joints, up until 1933 when it was appealed. So moonshiners were running amok, making a lot of money, making a lot of moonshines. At one time, Percy had about 5,000 to 6,000 acres of land. Most of that land he grew corn. So that's the main product for moonshining. It was said back in the early 30s he was making $1 million a year back then just from the sale of moonshine. Biggest story ever on a moonshiner. If you like those type of stories, look me up on Amazon, type in my full name, Oakley Dean Baldwin, and all of my books will come up. But I just wanted to briefly touch base with you. I haven't been on video in a few months. My editor and my grandson is in full-time college at ECU, and he does all the editing on my videos, and he's kind of bogged down right now. But I assure you, just as soon as we find out something about Pauline's autopsy, we will get it out to you. But I just wanted to give you those updates and say thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to tell a friend about these videos, and we'll dive deeper into J. Percy flowers in the coming weeks. Thank you and have a great day.